Good governor to oppressor of dissent, visionary to failed economist, charismatic to communal. From 2014 to 2020, Time magazine's outlook towards Narendra Modi as a leader and India's Prime Minister has changed drastically. PM Modi has featured in the Times 100 most influential people list for the fourth time. But the magazine's description of Modi is not a praise for him or the BJP. Every person who features in the list every year is described by different writers, influencers, or experts. This year, while featuring PM Modi as one of the world's most influential, Time editor Carl Wick said this: though almost all of India's prime ministers have come from the nearly 80% of the population that is Hindu, only Modi has governed as if no one else matters. First elected on a populist promise of empowerment, his Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party rejected not only elitism but also pluralism, specifically targeting India's Muslims. The crucible of the pandemic became a pretense for stifling dissent, and the world's most vibrant democracy fell deeper into shadow. Well, that's a scathing criticism of PM Modi and the BJP's governance in India. But Time magazine's take wasn't always so critical when PM Modi featured in the previous three times in 2014, 2015 and 2017. The very first description of PM Modi in the top 100 list was written by CNN's Fareed Zakaria, a pretty balanced take just before Modi became the Prime Minister. While Zakaria did call Modi a negative reaction to the UPA-2 government and underlined his dark Hindu nationalist streak, Zakaria also said this about Modi, and I quote, "India is currently ruled by Manmohan Singh, a mild-mannered 81-year-old technocrat with no political power of his own and a passive leadership style. Reverse every one of those traits and you have Modi, the charismatic, intense, utterly decisive head of Gujarat, one of India's fastest growing states." Come 2015, PM Modi featured for the second time in the list, and this time his description was written by none other than Barack Obama. Just a year into his prime ministership, PM Modi had clearly impressed Obama, who wrote, "Determined to help more Indians follow his path, Modi has laid out an ambitious vision to reduce extreme poverty, improve education, empower women and girls, and unleash India's true economic potential while confronting climate change." But come 2017, when Modi featured in the list for the third time, Time's outlook of him had changed. As the BJP government grappled with accusations of looking away from communal mob lynchings and the after effects of demonetization. Author Pankaj Mishra, in his description of Modi, said, "Nearly 3 years later, his vision of India's economic, geopolitical and cultural supremacy is far from being realized, and his extended family of Hindu nationalists have taken to scapegoating secular and liberal intellectuals as well as poor Muslims." And come 2020, there's hardly a word about Modi's good governance that Zakaria and Obama referred to in 2014 and 2015. Carl Wick calls out to PM Modi and the BJP for being majoritarian, for rejecting India's pluralism, for specifically targeting Muslims, and for stifling dissent. But here's the double whammy. The 2020 irony: Modi features in the list with Shaheen Baghdadi. In the Time magazine's top 100 list this year, Modi has to share space with Bilkis, the 82-year-old Muslim Dadi from Delhi's Shaheen Bagh, who became the face of Anti-Citizenship Amendment Act protests earlier this year.
ये कह रहे हैं मोदी जो कहे जो क्या नाम पैसा ले रखा, हम तुम्हें भी दे देंगे पैसा, 1 लाख रुपए देंगे, 4 दिन हमारे घर रहना पड़ेगा यहाँ।
1 लाख रुपया दीजिएगा, 4 दिन तक रहना होगा।
हाँ, मोदी जो कह रहा है 500 दिए तो उसका तबादला है ये।
The protest site of Shaheen Bagh, where women and children peacefully demonstrated against the Modi government over the highly controversial and unarguably discriminatory CAA, was used by the BJP as a poll plan for Delhi elections. Protesters like Bilkis were repeatedly called anti-nationals, disguised terrorists, and dividers of India. PM Modi, in one of his Delhi election speeches, also said this:
ये संयोग नहीं, ये एक प्रयोग है। इसके पीछे राजनीति का एक ऐसा डिजाइन है जो राष्ट्र के सौहार्द को खंडित करने के इरादे रखता है।
Despite Modi's take on Shaheen Bagh, Time magazine's call to feature Bilkis in their top 100 list has been widely applauded on social media platforms. Time magazine's changing outlook of Modi also reflects the world's changing outlook towards a man who was once seen as a promising national and world leader. No doubt, Modi's massive 2019 Lok Sabha victory gives him a clear popular mandate till 2024. But if PM Modi is thinking about how history will remember him, he must treat this year's Time magazine citation as unbiased constructive criticism and work towards setting the record straight when he makes it to the list the next time.